All right. Well, hello and welcome to today's live stream for the online gathering place. I am your host, Leah Petrucci, and I am a licensed mental health counselor and a holistic health and wellness coach, or rather a holistic health and lifestyle coach. And so I'm hosting today's live stream for the online gathering place. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're joining live, I would love to know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. And if you've never tuned into the online gathering place before, I'll just give you an idea of what that is. So once a week, I go live to this project called the Online Gathering Place. There are many people that run different live streams on different platforms. And the reason for the Online Gathering Place is an online platform for people to come to when they need just some uplifting of their mood. They need some anxiety relief. Maybe they need some tools to calm their nervous system, some activities to do, something to distract them from their day. So lots of different reasons for the Online Gathering Place. It is a weekly live stream. I do mine on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. At this time, there are other people that also participate in this project. We do have a Facebook page on the Online Gathering Place. If you would like to go on that Facebook page and look up when are the other days and times of the weekly live streams and different people who do different activities. The ones that I do on a weekly basis tend to be more mental health related because that is my area of expertise. But there's lots of different activities. There, or my little alarm. Lots of different activities. So check out our Facebook page and see if there's something something else that you'd like to check out as far as other activities that are going on. You can also see all of our replays from past Online Gathering Place live streams. You can go to our Facebook page and look at the replays. You can also see my replays of all the different Online Gathering Place activities by going to my YouTube channel, which is called the Holistic Healing Network. That's one of the places that one of the platforms that I broadcast the Online Gathering Place live streams. So tonight we are the topic for tonight's live stream is inner child work. And so what I'm going to be doing is teaching you a little bit about what that means, what inner child work entails. And then I'm going to follow it up with a guided meditation / affirmation. And we're going to couple it with some tapping. If you have been to any of my live streams before, you will have seen me do something called tapping. So I'm going to incorporate, it's going to be kind of a triple threat tonight. So we're going to do it. It's going to be meditative. It's going to be some affirmations, and it's going to be some tapping. And it's all surrounding the topic of inner child work. So before we get started with that, I'm going to just briefly give you an idea of what inner child work is. And let me just check one thing. Okay, we're good on Instagram. Okay, so just giving you an idea of what are the key concepts of inner child work. We're just going to go right into it. So key concepts of inner child work. Basically, I'm just going to identify some key terms, and we're going to talk about what each of these things are before we go into the guided meditation for tonight. All right, so have you ever heard the term inner child? And in a nutshell, that is defined as our inner child is really our true self, our original person. So who we are authentically, who we are without fear, without really our innocent selves, without anything that's covering up no false sense of self. It's our authentic self, who we truly are inside, really. Our wants, our needs, our desires at the basic level. If you think of it as when we were children, we had just some very basic needs. We had a basic need of being heard. We had a basic need of being seen, of having love, of getting attention. We had, of course, basic needs for food and shelter and water, and belonging. We have an inner need of belonging, and those things continue on with us even in our adulthood. We still have these basic inner needs, much like a child. And we often, in our adult years, we often still feel much like a child in certain circumstances. An example would be, you ever hanging out with a group of friends, let's say in your adult years, and maybe you find out that your adult friends have gone to do something and they didn't tell you about it. You almost have a sense of like feeling left out, right? A very childhood kind of wound, if you will, of why wasn't I told, or why wasn't I, I kind of feel left out. And you may feel kind of guilty or ashamed for having that childish sense of feeling left out, when really it's very authentic. It's a very true feeling, even though we are adults, we still might have those basic childhood needs that are unmet, to feel like we belong in a group, to feel socially connected to other people, to be seen, to be heard, to be nurtured, to be validated, to be understood. We have all of those needs in adulthood. And we often refer to it as our inner child. So that's what the inner child is. In essence, it's our authentic self, our true self. Another term in inner child work is called the false self. And that refers to our addicted self or our codependent self. Very inauthentic. That refers to the parts of us. Let's say parts, because there's more than one. The parts of us that need to act out in unhealthy ways to get those needs met, to be seen, to be heard, to be nurtured. Sometimes we don't always act in healthy ways to get that need met. For example, we might get in a toxic relationship to get that need met of having someone in our life, even if that person, that partner is unhealthy. That's a very codependent behavior. And lots of other examples of how we might act out in our false self, which is very opposite of our authentic self or our inner child. So those are those two terms, inner child and false self. And then you might also hear the term loving parent or the term reparenting, which this term, will start with loving parent. Loving parent refers to our adult self, that when we have to show up in an adult way, we have to, take care of our basic needs. We have to pay our rent. We have to go to work. We have to pay our bills. We have to feed ourselves. We have to, have adult relationships with coworkers. All of these things that we have to do as adults, we have to show up for ourselves as our own loving parent. And this refers to being in a very healthy way. So this refers to showing up for ourselves in a very nurturing way, that guides and validates and takes care of ourselves in a healthy way. So that's the loving parent. If you did not grow up with a loving parent, this might be a very foreign concept to grasp of what does a loving parent look like, or what does a loving parent act like, when really it's those things. A loving parent is very nurturing and emotionally mature, validating, they guide, they listen, they show up for. Those are all examples of a loving parent. And the point is for us to be a loving parent to ourselves, is for us to be very gentle and nurturing to ourselves. And that can be kind of hard sometimes, because especially given the example, if we didn't grow up with a loving parent, then we're going to probably act out in the example of what was modeled for us. Maybe we grew up with a parent who was really critical. And that'll lead me to the next term in just a moment. Maybe we had a very critical parent. Maybe we had a parent that was never satisfied with what we did, or we were never good enough. We never felt good enough. Maybe we had a parent that couldn't handle our emotions, that maybe didn't even provide for our basic needs, shelter, food, clothing, doctor's appointments. And so maybe it's really hard for us to take care of ourselves in that manner, because that might not have been modeled for us. And this is where this work of reparenting comes in. And the concept of reparenting is really learning to be our own loving parent to ourselves in our adult life, showing up for ourselves in a healthy way. Another way to put it, and I'm getting these terms from a book called ACA, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families textbook. You can find it on Amazon. You can also, it's called the Big Red Book for short, because it is a big red book. And you can also find it on the ACA website, which is adultchildren.org. Wonderful book. It defines all of these things that I'm explaining and goes into a lot more detail. There's an entire chapter. Chapter 8 is the entire chapter on becoming your own loving parent and talking more about inner child work. But this book defines reparenting as the central theme that we are willing to challenge our critical and inner voice to care for our child within. And by reparenting ourselves, we lose interest in harming ourselves with addictions and compulsions, codependency, all of those things. We remind ourselves that we have worth. We stop judging and criticizing and condemning and minimizing ourselves, because we realize that those things are harmful. And we instead treat ourselves with nurturing and kindness and gentleness. So those are two very opposite concepts. So that's the love concept of the loving parent. The opposite concept of that is called the critical parent, or sometimes you may hear it as the critical voice, or that critical parent voice. We all have that inner critical parent voice in our minds, if you will. And that's that voice that sounds like very critical and judgmental. And even if, let's say, you grew up in a household where your parents were very loving, we still can tend to sometimes have a very judgmental voice. Our thought process, our inner dialogue can oftentimes be very negative, maybe just because of the influence of society, or even social media, or our peers. We tend to compare ourselves with others, and we can tend to get very critical of ourselves. We can say things to ourselves like, well, you should have. We can do a lot of shoulding. You should have done better, or you shouldn't have done that, or a lot of shaming, because we think that that's motivating, when it's really not. It's the opposite of motivating. Beating ourselves up internally is actually the opposite of loving. And that's an example of the critical parent voice. And now that these terms are more defined, you might start noticing more often when it happens to you. You might kind of just take the temperature of your inner dialogue and notice, am I being loving towards myself, or am I being critical? How could I be more loving towards myself? And that's what we're going to go into tonight. I'm going to go over several examples of some loving parent statements to our inner child, or what are called affirmations. We're going to affirm to ourselves these very loving statements. But we're going to take it even a step further than that. We're going to combine it with what's called tapping, or the formal name is called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. And there's lots of videos on my YouTube channel, on the Holistic Healing Network channel, about tapping. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, because you can go back and look for any of the videos that I've done on tapping. There's actually a video where I teach you the 9 different points. And actually what we might do real quick is we might go through the 9 points so you can follow along with me while we do this meditation. So real quick, the 9 different points. The first point is the karate chop point, which is the side of the hand right here. It doesn't have to be exact, just the general area. Just give that area a little bit of gentle stimulation. This is an acupuncture point, and we're going to go over the 9 different acupuncture points that are involved in this tapping practice. So here's number 1. Number 2 is your eyebrow, that crease right there where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose. You can use as many fingers as you want. You can do one side or you can do both, whatever feels good to you. Gentle tapping. You don't like the tapping, you can just rub that area, or you can just touch and hold and breathe in, either one. The next point is the side of the eye, kind of that temple. And again, you can do, you can do one side or the other, or you can do both, whatever feels good to you. The next point is underneath the eyes, the cheekbone. The next point is underneath the nose. The next point is the chin, kind of that crease right in the middle there, the chin. Okay, the next point is the collarbone, kind of where the collarbones meet in the middle, about an inch down, right there, and that you feel the collarbones connect. Again, you can do both hands here. You can do one or the other. Doesn't matter. You can rub if you'd rather, or you can just touch the area and breathe. And the next area is the side of the rib cage for ladies, like right where your bra strap is. You can do both sides if you want. You can reach around and get both sides, kind of like a self hug. Or if you want, you can do just one side, whichever feels good to you. And then the last tapping point is the top of the head. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through these different affirmations, and while we're tapping. So we're going to simultaneously do both. And the reason that we're going to do both is because this is the true mind-body connection. I could just read the affirmations, but studies show that when you give gentle stimulation to those 9 points in an activity that we call tapping, or formally what's called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, that you're sending, by giving these acupuncture points, this gentle stimulation, you're sending a calming message to the part of the brain that is our fight or flight response, or our stress response. So you're getting the blood and oxygen flow to that part of the brain called the amygdala, and you're sending that amygdala a calming message that you're safe, and your nervous system immediately starts to kick in and downshift to a place of relaxation. So that's the reason we're gonna add this tapping in conjunction with the affirmations. Because you might notice that sometimes if you just try to say affirmations, it might not be enough without that added body piece. The mind-body connection is really more powerful than one by itself. So, and another reason that the tapping helps is because it involves what's called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is our largest cranial nerve, stemming from the base of the brain, which literally connects the brain to the body. Starts on the back and wraps around and goes through all of our major organs, all the way down to our pelvis. So quite literally, our vagus nerve is our mind-body connection, connecting our mind to the body. So you're engaging your vagus nerve. Lots of great things happen on a healing level when we engage the vagus nerve. So why not just add some tapping to your affirmations? Try that. If you like affirmations, if you love them, if you like them, maybe if you don't like them, maybe try doing some tapping along with the affirmations, and see if those affirmations will stick a little bit more in the mind, because what you're doing is you're calming down the body, you're relaxing the body, and therefore making your mind a little bit more relaxed in order to accept this new belief, this new thought. If you're in fight or flight, if you're in a stress response, when you're trying to change your thought pattern, it's really not going to take. You're not going to believe that new thought, that reframe. So let's just get into it and see. You'll see how it works for you, and I would love to hear any feedback. All right, I'm going to put the affirmations on the screen as we go along, and then I'm just going to lead you through the different tapping points. So let's start by rubbing your hands together. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And what I want you to do is just kind of rate your anxiety on a scale of 0 to 10. So 0 is I'm not feeling any anxiety right now, and 10 is I'm feeling the worst anxiety imaginable right now, or any number in between. So rate your level of anxiety right now before we get started, and then we'll re-rate at the end. Okay, so the first affirmation, we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hand, and just repeat after me if you can. If you can't repeat after me, that's okay. Just think it in your mind. I love myself unconditionally. And if that is difficult to say, then you can simply say as a substitute, I am learning to love myself unconditionally. Okay. A deep breath in. Let's try that one more time. I love myself unconditionally, or I am learning to love myself unconditionally. Okay, next one. Let's move to the eyebrow point now. I will protect myself to the best of my ability. We'll say each one of these twice. I will protect myself to the best of my ability. Okay, next one. Let's go to the side of the eye. I will listen to what my body is telling me. I will listen to what my body is telling me. And things you want to look out for that are signs that your nervous system is downshifting, is kicking in, are things like swallowing, a sigh, kind of like a spontaneous breath, a yawn. Any of those things is feedback, is biofeedback from your body, or neurofeedback too, really, that your body is downshifting. Your vagus nerve is kicking in to do its job to calm your nervous system. So these are all good signs. All right, next, let's go to underneath the eye. I will validate my own concerns. I will validate my own concerns. In other words, I'll listen to myself. I'll take myself seriously. Okay. Next is underneath the nose. I will become my own loving parent. I will become my own loving parent. Okay, the next is the chin. I will practice good self-care physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I will practice good self-care physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, next is the collarbone. I am worthy. That one's hard to say. You can say, I am learning to see myself as worthy. I am learning to see myself as worthy, or I am worthy. Okay. Next is the side of the ribs, rib cage. I am enough. Or you can say, I am learning to accept myself as enough. Okay. Next one is the top of the head. It is okay to set healthy boundaries without feeling guilty. It is okay to set boundaries without feeling guilty. I know this is a hard one for a lot of people. It was a hard one for me for a long time. Sometimes it still is. It's an ongoing battle, setting those boundaries. All right, now we're going to go back to the eyebrow point. It is okay to feel my emotions and process them in healthy ways. It is okay to feel my emotions and process them in healthy ways. Okay, let's go to the side of the eye. It is okay to do fun things for my self-care without feeling guilty that I am wasting time. How many of you struggle with this one? Just allowing yourself to do something fun or practicing self-care, allowing yourself to rest, whatever it is, practicing self-care without feeling selfish or without feeling guilty that you're being unproductive or you're wasting time. So this is a good one to repeat. Again, it is okay to do fun things for my self-care without feeling guilty that I'm wasting time. All right, let's go underneath the chin. It is okay to dream and hope for my future. You can also, remember, you can also rub the points and you can do both hands if you want, whatever feels good. I'm kind of doing one hand because I'm trying to also work the computer. All right, next one is underneath the nose. It is okay to make mistakes and learn from them. Tough one. It is okay to make mistakes and learn from them. Mistakes can be very valuable data. I like to tell myself that too. There's no failures. It's all data. It's all valuable data of what to do next time or what not to do. It's all good data. All right, underneath the chin. It is okay to detach from others when they are not healthy for me. It is okay to detach from others when they are not healthy for me. And this includes family members. This includes spouses, children even, family members. It's okay to detach from them, and that could mean different things. Emotionally detach from another person when they're not healthy. Maybe it means leaving the conversation. Maybe it means setting a boundary. Maybe it means not having any contact at all with the person. Depends on the situation and what is right for you. But it is okay to detach in whatever way is right for you when you're dealing with someone who's not healthy for you. Okay, next, collarbone. It is okay to seek the higher power of my own choosing. It is okay to seek the higher power of my own choosing. And that also means that you don't have to choose one if that's your choice. It also means that you can choose not to choose a higher power. That you have that right. Okay. Side of the arm. It is okay to reparent myself differently than my family of origin. It is okay to reparent myself differently than my family of origin, meaning you make the rules now. You're an adult. You decide. You are your own loving parent. You can do things differently than your parents taught you. Yes, you can. It's okay. You can respectfully learn, what they taught you. You can respect them for that and then respectfully disagree. You have that right. What works for them may not work for you. That's okay. You can choose to have a completely different adulthood than your parents had growing up, than the one that they displayed for you when you were a child. You can choose to parent your children differently than your parents parented you as well. Okay, next is on top of the head. It is okay to say, I love myself. It's okay to say that. It's not being narcissistic. We're talking about healthy self-esteem here. It's okay to love yourself, and it's okay to say you love yourself. All right, back to the eyebrow. It is okay to give myself restful breaks. It is okay to give myself restful breaks. In fact, it's essential. It's not just okay, it's essential to give yourself restful breaks when your body, it goes back to the one we did earlier of, I will listen to my body and do what it needs. Okay, going to the side of the eye again. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. Does not mean that I am weak. Actually makes you pretty strong when you're able to ask for help. Okay. Next one is underneath the eye. It is okay to not know the answer. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to not know where you're going. It's okay to not know what your path is. It's okay. Give yourself that permission. Other people may put that pressure on you to know what you're going to be doing for your life, your career, but you don't need to put that pressure on yourself. It's okay to not know. It's okay to explore different things. Give yourself that permission. Okay, underneath the chin, underneath the nose. Actually, that was the last one. So rub your hands together, take a deep breath in, and let it out. And let's just end by putting your hands over your heart and taking a deep breath in letting it out. And check in with yourself. What is your level of anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10 after doing those affirmations and the tapping? Did it come down at all? Even just a point. If it came down, even just a point, that's great. That's progress. Of course, the more the better, but you can do this anytime. This is recorded. You can go back and redo this tapping affirmation meditation anytime. And studies show that if you repeat things like this, it not only strengthens your vagus nerve, strengthens your nervous system. And remember, the vagus nerve is the cranial nerve that attaches the brain to the body. That is when the vagus nerve is doing its job, rest and digest. Our body goes into rest and digest mode. So it goes into our healing mode. We're very parasympathetic. The stress response is sympathetic nervous system, and the opposite of that is the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's when we are doing our healing, we're detoxing, we're able to have creative thoughts, we're able to just relax, maybe even have a little bit of fun, enjoy life. All of those things take place when the vagus nerve does its job and kicks in. So these activities, such as tapping, such as affirmations, meditation, all of these things are great for strengthening that vagal tone, strengthening the vagus nerve so it can kick in quicker, so we can be more resilient to stress and trauma. And the more you practice things like this, you should notice more resilience. So, and that word really means the ability to bounce back quicker. So you may, notice over time that something where you may have had a huge stress response, you might not have the same response after a while of really working on your nervous system. Doing nervous system work such as this is very much like, going to the gym and doing push-ups or doing cardio. You're working out your body. These activities are great for working out the nervous system, training the nervous system. There are other videos on my YouTube channel that are training the nervous system. Check them out. You can check out any of the previous replays of the online gathering place. And there are also some shorter versions also on my YouTube channel, which again is called the Holistic Healing Network. So that's all for today. Just a couple of things a couple of resources that I wanted to share. So if you liked what I presented tonight and you would like to know more about how you can work with me one-on-one, as I mentioned, I am a licensed mental health counselor. I'm also a holistic health and lifestyle coach. I work virtually. I serve Florida residents with therapy when we do mental health counseling. I offer that to Florida residents only. However, as a coach, where we can do health coaching, we can do lifestyle coaching, I offer that to anyone regardless of where they reside. It is virtual, so we can do virtual sessions over Zoom. And basically, my job as a coach is to help you meet your health goals. If you have chronic illness, if you have chronic pain, or if you just want to eat healthier, you want to maybe lose weight, maybe you want to get more movement, maybe you want to learn more about how you can eliminate toxins from your home. Those are all things that I do that I can provide as a health and lifestyle coach. But I'm also a licensed mental health counselor. So I offer things, like working with trauma, helping your anxiety, working with you to help boost your mood, all kinds of different things, codependency. If you'd like to learn more about what I do in the different areas of specialization, you can always visit my website, which is leahpetrucci.com, and it'll tell you more details about the area of specializations that I provide for you. So a couple of other resources that I will also put in the notes, but if you like the tapping, the tapping technique, which is called emotional freedom technique, and I'll put the name of it up there. If you like the tapping, there is an app that is absolutely amazing that I use in my own personal self-care routine. I also suggest it to almost all of my clients. There's an app you can download called the Tapping Solution. You can download that from your Play Store, and you have access to the free version, which gives you some access to some free tapping exercises, but you also can get access to the premium version. And I'm going to put a link in the notes that will give you 50% off of the premium version, which gives you access to hundreds of different tapping meditations, all different categories. Tapping can help you with things like health and wellness issues, mental health, finances, help you, gain abundance. It can help with limiting beliefs. It can help you with affirmations. It can help you with changing your thought process. It can help you if you're struggling to get motivated to change a certain habit. It can help you change bad habits. It can help you with things like even weight loss, health goals, all kinds of things that tapping can help you do. Because basically, in a nutshell, what it's doing is it's calming down the nervous system. And when our nervous system is calm and we are in a parasympathetic state, really there's no limits to what we can do creatively, physically, emotionally. So tapping can help us do all of those things. So if you're interested in checking out that app, you can, of course, you can download that app on your phone, but you can also check out the special link that I'm going to provide in the notes that will get you 50% off of a premium version, which brings it down to about $47 for a year subscription to the Tapping Solution. I love it. Highly recommend it. I use it on the daily. I recommend it to my clients. So you can check that out. I've also included a couple of links to some essential oils. I didn't mention that during our activity tonight, but essential oils, for example, a brand I really love is doTERRA. This is the Citrus Bliss that I've been diffusing. doTERRA is a great brand, as well as a brand called Vibrant Blue Oils. I'll provide the links for those along with some coupon codes if you'd like to try some essential oils. Essential oils really also help your meditation, self-care practice, helps with tapping. It helps get your body into a very relaxed state of mind. You can, inhale directly and then do the tapping, or you can put a couple of drops on the different tapping points. You can put it in a diffuser and have it diffusing while you do your tapping practice. All of those things just really help to calm down the body and help it to get into that parasympathetic state. So you can be in rest and digest mode, and even help to get things accomplished. Sometimes it helps me to focus, helps to calm down the brain, helps to calm down that sense of worry. Therefore, I can focus on my work better. So I'll include some of those links in the notes. And last thing, if you would like to volunteer for the online gathering place, I'll put the email up. If you'd like to lead in an activity like this, it doesn't have to be, mental health related like I do. You can lead in any kind of activity. You can lead people in a game. You can lead people in an arts and crafts activity, music, whatever you like to do. You just have to have the desire and have some free time. And you can send an email to the onlinegatheringplace@gmail.com, and we'd love to have you on board as a volunteer. And that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream. Join me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and hope to see you there. Hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.